Alright, hello students, Dr. Norton here with Tarzan Lecture number 2. Actually on my road trip in Colorado, so didn't expect to have some technical difficulties. I somehow, the sound went out in the last video, so my apologies. This is not a long one, this is Tarzan Lecture number 2, it's about 6 minutes long, but it goes like this. I've assigned you The Tempest to read, and in The Tempest we talked about man's triumph over nature as being one of the key themes. We talked about the theme of divine providence being an aid to mankind. We talked about the corruption of man and how it comes when he gives up his duty, when he abandons what we call his social role. We might also call that his body politic in some contexts as well. A man's social role, or his body politic, his role in society, the role he is destined to play or been created to play in society, is part of who he is, part of who he is created to be. What is Prospero's role, his social role, his body politic? Well, to be the Duke of Milan. He forsakes his duty, though, for the sake of pleasure and taking part in the dark arts. That becomes the temptation for him. He wants to do this instead of being the Duke of Milan, right? He turns all of his role over to his brother. And his brother, as even Prospero says, cannot handle that kind of pressure. What is Tarzan's social role? His bloodline is that of an English nobleman. Nature and divine providence will eventually lead him to his proper place. That is the reason for his rapid ascendance among the apes. Now, some of you, as I noticed in some of your write-ups about Tarzan, talk about it because all humans would rise above the apes. I don't necessarily think that's true. At least, I don't think that's what Burroughs is talking about. I think Tarzan rises above the apes as quickly as he does. I think he learns English, he learns to write because of the blood, the kind of blood. You and me? Probably not. Not as quickly as Tarzan, well, unless you're an English nobleman or a noblewoman. But I'm not, and so I wouldn't rise to supremacy as fast as Tarzan did because I don't have that kind of blood in me. I'm from a more blue-collar background, and so this is his bloodline. This is what he's created to be and do. His body politic. So his bloodline is that of an English nobleman, and nature and divine providence will help him find his role in society, his role in the world. Because this is for the betterment of society. That's why it's so dangerous if people give up their body politic, because it's a detriment to society. Society needs that kind of leadership. Society needs that kind of role filled so that things can run properly. His name, his very blood, will lead him to a place of governance over both man and beast. With Dr. Faustus, we have man that looks beyond his proper place in creation. So we have man really violating his body politic in some ways, kind of trying to go beyond what he was really created to do and be into something that involves overreaching, and overreaching as a danger that leads to corruption and damnation for Dr. Faustus, right? With Tarzan, there is a respect for the natural order. He learns who he is as a man, and he rises to this calling and not beyond it. He doesn't push beyond it. He doesn't long for anything past it. I don't know if you can hear that right now, but that is probably what Tarzan sounded like when he was a baby, crawling and climbing through the jungle. Rawr, rawr, rawr. No, I'm just kidding. That's my baby boy. And you've seen him a lot, I know. Then we look at Harry Potter. Like Tarzan, Harry begins his life among those who are not his own. Right? Kind of a cool connection there. Harry begins life with muggles. Tarzan begins life with apes. And there's some really cool connections here. I think you can make a really cool paper if you're interested. But connecting those two things would be could involve some neat thoughts and neat thesis about how both begin outside of their normal society and both rise above to fulfill their calling or their body politic in life. Uh-oh. I hear a Tarzan in the back again. Interesting. Both Harry Potter and Tarzan, both stories focus on basically a theme called a coming-of-age theme, or a coming-of-age meta-narrative, an overarching story. The overarching narrative involves coming of age. I think I see some Tarzans. Come over here, Tarzan. Come over, say hello. Say hello. Hello. Do your Tarzan. Okay, now go sit down. Good job. Both stories are coming of age. Both involve a rise from ignorance to knowledge. Both stories focus on an innocent born and raised outside of a society of peers, able to comment upon the society in which they are meant to exist. This is an interesting, another side of this whole story between these two stories. Because Tarzan, because Harry are not born among their peers, when they do arrive in the society they were meant to be in, they have an outside perspective. They're able to look around and say, something's not right here. And I can help fill a role. And that really becomes them stepping into their social role, that which they've been made for. Tarzan is able to see his human society without being tainted by human prejudices. Harry is able to see the society of wizards and witches from an untainted position, untainted by supernatural prejudices, if we can put it that way. Each is what we would call in literature an other, created by the author to give an outside perspective. That's another cool perspective, another cool connection between these two texts, is that each author creates their protagonist as an other, and through that other can make commentary or comment upon society. So how about some themes? What elements separate Tarzan from the warriors, the cannibal tribe? What elements separate him from the cannibal tribe and align him with his ancestry? Well, Tarzan, as we see, easily outsmarts them. He actually mocks them at certain points, right? The warriors are portrayed as being highly superstitious. They put food out for unknown gods. Tarzan is a perfect male figure, like his father before him. Tarzan, unlike the warrior tribe, feels like he must wear clothing, more so than the warrior tribe. He doesn't want to be like them. He sees their activities in eating other humans as degrading. And somehow this is just in his blood, right? This idea of his noble blood, or morality coming through his bloodline. So is that an inherited trait? Is morality something that is inherited? Is social morality something that is learned, or something that comes from inside of us that we know by nature? Burroughs seems to be saying that he just knew by nature not to eat the young man that he killed, not to eat another human being. Another question is, how are beauty and nobility related in the text? How are beauty and nobility related in the text? So it's very important, as Burroughs writes here, and in this comes from some romantic influence. The romantic era in literature is influencing Burroughs here, perhaps, because we see Tarzan has to be very good looking, Jane has to be very good looking, even Cecil is a good looking man, Clayton is a good looking man. These people who are educated and noble are good looking. Actually, you know who's not good looking? Is the rat-faced sailor. The rat-faced sailor, even the cannibal tribe, ugly in a way. Certain of them are ugly because they're evil. And in the romantic tradition, you have the protagonist who is heroic and noble will always be good-looking. You have the antagonist who is evil and unkind, always be ugly. And this is definitely an influence from the romantic era. We move beyond this in modernism to a more modern, or to a more kind of realistic portrayal, that you can have very ugly protagonists, you can have very good-looking antagonistic forces. All right, this ends part 2, and so now you'll hopefully check out part 2.5, which I will double-check, make sure is good, but hope you enjoyed the text.